Leopard 2 is a main battle tank developed by Krauss-Maffei in the 1970s for the German military. The first tank entered service in 1979 and replaced its predecessor, the Leopard 1, as the main tank of the West German Army. Some versions have entered service in the forces of Germany and 12 other European countries, as well as several other countries outside Europe. The Leopard 2 has been used in the Kosovo conflict by German forces, the Afghan conflict by Danish and Canadian forces, and the civil war in Syria by Turkish forces. The famous variant in the Leopard 2 tank is the Leopard 2A4, which has a box-shaped and vertical turret. Then there is also a variant of the development of the 2A4 series, the Leopard 2A5, which has a turret equipped with a pointed steel shield. Each variant has a digital firing control system, assisted by a laser guide, a powerful cannon, and a coaxial machine gun. In the system there are also night vision aids and other vision aids. Early variants used a low light level television system. Then later on the next variant was replaced by a thermal camera system. This tank has the ability to shoot at moving targets, even though the tank is in tough terrain. The Leopard 2 is a main battle tank developed by Krauss-Maffei in the 1970s for the German military. The first tank entered service in 1979 and replaced its predecessor, the Leopard 1, as the main tank of the West German Army. Some versions have entered service in the forces of Germany and 12 other European countries, as well as several other countries outside Europe. The Leopard 2 has been used in the Kosovo conflict by German forces, the Afghan conflict by Danish and Canadian forces, and the civil war in Syria by Turkish forces. The famous variant in the Leopard 2 tank is the Leopard 2A4, which has a box-shaped and vertical turret. Then there is also a variant of the development of the 2A4 series, the Leopard 2A5, which has a turret equipped with a pointed steel shield. Each variant has a digital firing control system, assisted by a laser guide, a powerful cannon, and a coaxial machine gun. In the system there are also night vision aids and other vision aids. Early variants used a low light level television system. Then later on the next variant was replaced by a thermal camera system. This tank has the ability to shoot at moving targets, even though the tank is in tough terrain. Development of the Leopard 2 tank began after the Leopard 1 entered service in the 1960s. However, when compared in firepower and protection with the Soviet Union's newest tank at that time, the T-62, Rheinmetall had developed a 120mm gun for the development of the successor Leopard 2 domestically, but the German government chose to cooperate with the United States in the MBT-70 and was overtaken by the development of the Soviet T-72, which had greater protection and firepower than the T-62. After the end of the joint project, West Germany further developed the tank from the base Vergoldeter Leopard Golden Tiger to Kahler Wild Boar. Krauss-Maffei was appointed as the prime contractor, and there were also other companies appointed for the development of certain parts, namely Porsche for the development of the chassis and Wegmann for the development of the turret. The development of the Leopard 2 tank used steel that resembled Chobham steel, although it did not have the same technology as the British and US. When the MBT-70 program broke up, at the behest of the Bundesamt für Technik und Beschaffung (BWB), or the German Armed Forces Procurement Technology Office, all development data from the broken project was merged into the Kahler project that would become Leopard 2. The dissolution of the MBT-70 project left losses of 830 million marks and made BWB officials did not dare to continue the Leopard 2 project. After, in 1970, the then West German Defense Minister Helmut Schmidt asked to continue the KPZ-2 Kahler project and renamed the program Leopard 2. The Netherlands is a Leopard 2 user country outside of Germany. After seeing the results of Leopard 2 trials in the United States, the Netherlands decided to buy this tank, as many as 445 units in May 1979. After the Cold War ended, there was a change in geopolitical circumstances in Europe that made the Netherlands feel they have most tanks and sell them to friendly countries. The Netherlands decided to retire the Leopard 2 tank in 2011 due to large budget cuts. Since the Crimean crisis occurred, NATO members strongly anticipated an attack from Russia. With this condition, the Netherlands began to revive its Leopard 2 tank fleet by using joint tanks and Dutch-German dual-state units and ordering Leopard 2A7. Sweden purchased the Leopard 2 to replace the STRV-103. After a comparative evaluation of the Leopard 2 M1A2, Leclerc, and TAUB tanks. In the evaluation, the Leopard 2 tank met 90%, and this was the highest value. Sweden named its Leopard 2 tank STRV 122. The purchase of Leopard 2 was expanded from 1999, and at that time ordered 1,000 pieces, but was rejected. In 2005, Turkey held a tank contest between T-84 Yataghan, Leclerc, and M1A1 MTU engines made in Germany. In the contest, Leopard 2 was selected and ordered as many as 298 pieces. This tank was also upgraded in the Next Generation program and is done by the Turkish company itself, Aselsan. Leopard 2 A4 tanks. Turkey was involved in the Syrian civil war, and in the Battle of Al-Bab, recorded 10 Leopard 2 A4 tanks were not modified, destroyed by ISIS anti-tank missile attacks. Denmark purchased Leopard 2 from German Leopard 2 A4 stock and bought it as many as 51 pieces, and modified with A5 standard and 6 pieces for cannibalization spare parts. Denmark is a country other than Canada that sent Leopard 2 for assignment in Afghanistan. Singapore is the first Leopard 2 user in Southeast Asia. Leopard 2 tanks were purchased in 2008, as many as 96 A4 variants and 30 pieces for cannibalization spare parts. In the next batch of 36 pieces were sent to Singapore. Leopard 2 tanks were developed with the Evolution concept, and the Leopard 2 SG that had been developed appeared for the first time to the public at the Singapore Independence Day Parade in 2010. During the conflict in the territory of the former Yugoslavia, Leopard 2 tanks were commissioned by Germany and the Netherlands under the auspices of KFOR and IFORS 4. Leopard 2 A5 tanks of German troops were deployed as fire support, protection of logistical convoys and bases, and as a deterrent against Serbian militias in Kosovo. Leopard 2 tanks were involved in arms contact in Kosovo, which began with 2 Serbian militias attacking KFOR guard posts guarded by Leopard 2. The Afghan War is one of the battlefields where Leopard 2 has been assigned. Denmark and Canada are Leopard 2 user countries that assigned it to Afghanistan under the auspices of ISAF. Initially, ISAF used artillery as a fire aid, but inadequate infrastructure and the length of coordination and concern about the irregularity of the fall of artillery projectiles that could avoid the Taliban and fall. NATO has proposed deploying tanks in Afghanistan to help clear the Taliban. Denmark is a Leopard 2 user country that sends its Leopard 2 tanks to Afghanistan in order to facilitate entry into Afghanistan. Denmark and Canada use aircraft as carriers for these tanks. Denmark sent 5 Leopard 2 A5DK, which have been installed special camouflage and air conditioning and Taurus workshop vehicles. Danish Leopard 2 participated in Operation Sanchara Red Bellies to assist British and Estonian troops on December 7, 2008. The operation was located in Nadi Ali, Lashkar Province, Afghanistan. Canada sent Leopard 2 A6 tanks also participated in NATO ISAF operations while in Afghanistan. In December 2016, Turkey deployed a number of Leopard 2 A4s to the Syrian civil war against the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant ISIS as part of Operation Euphrates Shield. Turkish Leopard 2 A4s operating in Syria were destroyed or damaged by ISIS using anti-tank missile systems, possibly Faggot or Conquer's anti-tank missiles seized from the Syrian or Iraqi. The Amaq news agency posted a video of the vehicle, claiming to have captured the Leopard 2 A4. By the end of December 2016, ISIS had captured or disabled 10 Leopard 2 A4s. Additional ISIS propaganda images and videos depicting several Leopard 2 tanks completely destroyed, some of their towers blown up, published in January 2017. The tanks that suffered the most damage may have been destroyed by airstrikes to prevent capture, but sources generally state that the damage was only caused by anti-tank missiles or suicide car bombs. Starting in June 2023, Ukraine deployed Leopard 2s during the Russo-Ukrainian war against Russia in preparation for the 2023 counteroffensive. During the Ukrainian offensive in Zaporizhzhia Oblast on June 8, 2023, a Russian artillery strike against a column of Ukrainian vehicles in Novopokrovka destroyed at least 1 Leopard 2 A4 tank. In addition, more Russian drone footage from the same day and a few days after showed 4 Leopard 2 A6 and 3 Leopard 2R tanks damaged or destroyed south of the Molotokhnachka Road.